Following Rayna's death, Kate seals her mother's tomb and swears to avenge her death. Kate returns to New Ephyra to warn the Cog of the swarm threat, but first Minister Jin demands proof before taking action. Marcus, Kate, Del and JD embark on missions to confirm the threats are real. 42 years after E-Day, Delta Squad travel to the ruins of Azura to restore the Hammer of Dawn network. Following their success, the squad return to New Ephyra.
James, how about I see Jin first? I'll calm the storm before you brief her.
I'm sorry, is this Sergeant Phoenix being diplomatic?
You can call it what you want, but we're at war, even if it doesn't feel like it yet. We all have to be on the same page.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you think it'll help, then sure.
Wish you'd have been this willing to listen back at that silo.
Hey, it worked out, didn't it?
Listen, James, word of advice. Stop trying to prove yourself. Just do the job.
Dad, I took a necessary risk.
Necessary means you have no other option. That wasn't necessary, and you know it.
First Minister Jin orders them to aid the evacuation of Cog Settlement 2. Settlement 2 was a place JD, Del and Fars knew well. They were deployed to Settlement 2 during a series of riots which resulted in mass casualties for the civilians. During the riots, JD gave Fars the order to open fire on the civilians, an action that led JD and Del to go AWOL. This revelation caused Del and Kate to lose trust in JD and further fracture the group's morale. On their current mission of protecting the evacuation convoy, the Swarm launches a ferocious attack. In the midst of the chaos, JD orders Baird to fire the Hammer of Dawn on the Swarm, in spite of it not being fully operational. The hammer strikes decimate the Swarm, but then the Hammer of Dawn malfunctions and fires uncontrollably, severely injuring JD. Following the Swarm's attack and the Hammer of Dawn malfunction, Kate Diaz has to decide whether to follow her mother's outsider's ways or fulfill her duty as a member of the Cog, like her father Gabe Diaz. Kate, JD, Del, Marcus, Cole, Samantha and Bird resupply and are summoned to New Ephyra by First Minister Jin, stating their crimes will be forgiven. Kate meets with Hoffman, who provides her with detailed information about her father Gabe Diaz. The information concerned the bloody Battle of Gatka Ridge, a brutal mission that defined his Pendulum Wars legacy. A few months later, Kate and Del visit an outsider village as they attempt to convince them to join the Cog. The village chief is Kate's uncle Oscar, but before any deal can be brokered, the Swarm attack the settlement. Amid the chaos, Kate is abducted by a snatcher and has an out-of-body experience. In the vision, she appears to be controlling Swarm forces and hears strange voices. Kate manages to escape the snatcher, but is too late to save Oscar from certain death.
No. Kate, you can't see this. You don't want to see this. I'm sorry.
Kate? I'm sorry.
Following the Cog reinforcements arriving to help evacuate the village, Kate tells all about her visions.
For months now I've been having these dreams. Nightmares. But I think they were messages.
What?
Something's happening to me.
It's your grandmother's?
Enough. We'll deal with this later. Fars, round these people up.
I need help.
There's a place. Up north. I think we can find you answers there.
No. Absolutely not. We have orders.
You'll go with me.
God damn it, both of you, listen!
I'll go with her. Look, if you're missing, Jen will notice.
Okay. I'll push Jack the coordinates.
No, Corporal. You're coming back to Noafira. That is a direct order.
Well, Captain, screw your order.
Marcus Phoenix tells Kate she should visit the New Hope facility to find answers to why she had the visions. At the lab, Kate and Del uncover clues that lead them to Mount Kadar, a former Locust stronghold. Underneath the mountain, the pair find another secret cog lab where they meet an AI construct of scientist Niles Sampson.
What is it?
That is one of our first successful hybrids.
Hybrid? You mean a locust?
One and the same. In our previous facility, we had problems with genetic stability. The sires were distempered and sterile, a problem for obvious reasons. But the Locust were different. Highly controllable, the perfect soldiers, and blessedly able to reproduce.
What made them different?
Their cells. You see, the emulsion miners' children provided a marvelous genetic repository, as did the indigenous creatures of the Hollow. But when the extent of one very special child's genetic immunity to emulsion became clear, our work began to soar. Please, go ahead.
Niles Sampson went on to reveal that Queen Myra, the leader of the Locust, was human with an immunity to emulsion. Myra had a daughter by the name of Raina, Kate's dead mother. When a young Raina was taken away from Myra by her father, the Queen led the Locust to rebel against the scientists and fight to gain their independence. In this moment, Kate truly understands her place in the story. She is the heir to the Locust throne, with her grandmother, Queen Myra, and her mother, Raina, passing on the Locust lineage. Kate demands to be separated from the swarm's hive mind, but in doing so, she passes on the natural succession of Swarm Queen back to her dead mother, Raina. Raina is resurrected, which is revealed to be Niles' true intention as Del and Kate are forced to fight and kill the Swarm matriarch. Several weeks later, Baird takes Kate and Del to the Vasgar Desert. Upon arrival, they are introduced to Garen Paddock.
Vasgar was independent. The UIR had the pleasure of occupying, liberating this glorious land.
Okay, remember how I told you only pissed off nomads lived out here now? Meet Garen Paddock, the most pissed off and nomadic of them all.
This is your old UIR contact?
Two things I dislike, Baird. The cog and children. You've brought me both.
Two things I dislike? Old men and deserts. And yet, here we are.
I like this one.
Paddock reveals the UIR had a secret space program with Hammer of Dawn satellites in the region. The pair are joined by JD Phoenix and Fars and successfully assemble and launch the rocket to enable the Hammer of Dawn. But in the process, the Swarm arrive and attack with a giant creature called the Kraken. The group escapes as Paddock picks them up in a Raven to take them home. At Nuafira, First Minister Jin attempts to arrest Kate Diaz, intending to force her to connect to the Swarm hive mind. In this moment, the Swarm launches a large-scale assault on the city. The Gears fail in their attempts to set up the Hammer of Dawn as the Kraken destroys the targeting beacons. Queen Raina emerges in the chaos and attacks Kate, JD and Del. Raina captures JD and Del, forcing Kate to decide which one will live and which one will die.
Connected! Immortal! You had a choice, and you squandered it! Alive or dead, you belong to us! You've made your choice. Now die with
After killing one of Kate's close allies, the remaining survivors attempt to evac, but are attacked by the Kraken. What soldiers remain are overwhelmed, and a tragic end for the COG seems inevitable. But in a moment of heroism, Jack, the squad's robotic companion, kills the Kraken by sacrificing itself as an improvised target beacon for the Hammer of Dawn. In the moments after the battle, Marcus tells Kate that Raina will inevitably return. Kate throws away her mother's locust necklace and promises to find and kill her mother, Queen Raina.